Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Board Explorer, and this is my Sunday chat, the quest for England. The quest so far, you could say. It's been another busy week, and I've been out and about making my videos, of course, and been presenting them to you, and this is my chance to sort of round up what we've been doing and what we're going to be doing next week. Now, of course, I'm hoping that everybody is okay, that you haven't come down with the dreaded coronavirus, COVID-19, which is a horrible name, isn't it? COVID-19. It really gives you the willies, if you ask me. Well, earlier in the week, we did go and see Kim Murden, the herbalist, just to get what her take was on general well-being anyway, because wintertime is a time for all sorts of flus and illnesses and colds and that sort of thing, and what you can do just to boost your immune system. So it was lovely to have a chance to chat to Kim about the coronavirus and find out not so much if there's a cure, because we know that's all undergoing at the moment, but really what sort of sensible precautions could you do, or if you do feel under the weather, what sort of herbs can you put into your cooking and add to your well-being and just boost the immune system. So it was good. We did two videos on that. Part one, which was just general well-being. Part two, a bit more of an explanation of what goes on in your guts and how important it is to keep your gut in a good condition and not to smoke too much, to reduce the amount of sugar that you have, and generally try and keep yourself in a nice even balance. Very important. So it was great to speak to Kim, and you can check those videos out, of course. I met up this week with Andrew Norris. He's the gentleman who has his own YouTube channel, but he's moved to Croatia, and he has been charting some fascinating stuff with the villagers in the village that he lives in, Croatia. And you may remember a week or so ago, I asked him what his opinion as an Englishman, what it was looking back at England these days in modern times. Well, he flew back for a week, and I caught up with him, and he took me along to a place that's near to where he grew up, Telegraph Track, near Wallington, in the sort of, I think it's the borough of Sutton in the south of London. And it's right on the edge, really, of London. He took me down to this wonderful area where they were homes for heroes from the First World War. Fascinating buildings. And he told me the story of how, when they were building them, there was something wrong with the cement. The wind could get through and was, I guess it hadn't set properly, something like that. So they boarded them up with cladding or weatherboard. And this was black cladding. And so they had a very distinctive look, and we had a look round on that area. And I've since gathered from the comments, which is fantastic when people do get in touch with the comments, that actually there are other areas that also have had these homes for heroes. And so it wasn't just a one-off. One imagines that these heroes must have been awarded medals for bravery, that sort of thing, and or possibly some of the higher echelons of the army, or the various different, you know, not just the army, I suppose there's the navy and the primitive flying corps. Don't know too much about that, but obviously this sort of thing was going on up and down the country. So fascinating to see that. If you missed that video, do go and check it out. That would be great. We later caught up with Andrew because he is not only a filmmaker and an artist, he's also a composer. Now, I wish I could compose music. It would be so great to be able to compose my own music for my videos, so there would be no problem with copyright, because every now and again you do get a little bit clobbered with the old copyright issues. But we were looking at English music, and in particular English composers, people like Vaughan Williams and John Ireland. And he mentioned a few people that I didn't know about. He talked about the folk music and how music has a place, a geographical location. So that was fascinating. A lot of people like that, so check that one out as well if you missed it. Also, met up with the lovely Julia. Can't have a week without the lovely Julia, of course, and little Joseph. People love to see how he's growing, and by golly, he is growing. Well, we went round Titchfield in Hampshire. Now that's between Portsmouth and Southampton. Interesting thing is, a lot of people think that Titchfield is the village that Titchfield Thunderbolt was based on. Not at all. Titchfield Thunderbolt, completely made up place as far as I'm aware, and nothing to do with the Ealing comedy from whenever that was, the early 1960s or late 50s, I imagine. So no, Titchfield, you may remember we went to Titchfield Abbey, once an abbey and then converted to this beautiful manor house in the 16th century, and you can go around that. That's fascinating, but the village is equally fascinating, with houses probably from the 1400s, from about the 15th century onwards up to the Georgian period, some 1960s buildings, and of course some modern ones which have been given a sort of older style, more they sort of suitable styles, a bit mock Tudory in some places and mock Georgian, but what's the word I'm looking for? Sympathetic to the time. And it's lovely to see when new builds have to be built if they are sympathetic to that period. So check out that. We didn't get a chance to go around the church, St. Peter's I think it is, if I remember rightly. I don't think we got a chance. It may have been St. George, can't remember now. Do so many of these videos and visit so many churches that often I can't always remember, but we will go back there, I'm sure, and check that out. There's lots of other interesting places in the area, such as the mill and the canal that goes up to Titchfield to the sea, servicing well, would have serviced, I suppose, the manor house at some point. Also, I met up with Kevin Hall, because Kevin is one of those people that's been inspired by me going out and doing my videos. He's been inspired to make his own. And over the last couple of years, I've noticed a number of people in our Bald Explorer Facebook group have also gone out and started to shoot videos, and they share them on the themes of heritage, landscape and nature. And the great thing is that it enables us to capture some of this wonderful heritage, the landscape and the nature of course, before it's all gone. I'm very aware that there's new builds going up, that things are crumbling, and we're losing a lot of our heritage. And it's great that other people can go out and video it. So I wanted to talk to Kevin because I'm going to be running some workshops over the next year or so, video workshops which will go up to help people to go and capture some of this stuff, because obviously I'm not going to be able to capture it all myself, as much as I would very much like to. So that's happening. So look out for the workshops when they come about. Now, what are we going on to next week? Well, assuming that we're not all self-isolating and are stuck inside, unable to get out, I'm hoping to meet up with Judy XL on Monday to go around St. Mary's in Sompting. You may remember I did a walk fairly recently and went up to this very unique church in Sompting near Worthing, and it's a beautiful Saxon church. And she's agreed to take me around and show me some of those bits. Now, of course, things may change because people may become ill, and or it may be advisable that people don't meet. So you just have to bear with me. We'll see what we can do. That's coming up. The lovely Julia and I have been on more walks. We've been up to a National Trust property called, well, it's landscape really, called New Timber Hill. I think it's New Timber Hill, near Poynings and Devil's Dyke and around that sort of area, just on the opposite side of Clayton Hill where the Jack and Jill windmills are. We went up there. Unfortunately, we went on an incredibly windy day, which was not much help, but we were rescued, and you can see what happens in our video on that. Also coming up, we visit East Preston and have a look, another village, a seaside village, not far from Worthing where I live, and we have a look at the architecture and at the seaside landscape. I want to, at some point, get around the perimeter of England and have a look at the coastline. I know that people often travel about the whole coastline consecutively, but it's nice just to sort of delve in and show different parts of what the beach is like and all of that, which is great. So we're going to be doing more of that. Now, people have said, Richard, in order to explore England, you need to get out of Sussex. And as you may remember, I did post a video which showed some of our trips from previous years. And we do have a lot more trips planned. Very soon, going to be going to 5 different woods. I think this is, if I remember rightly, it's in Wiltshire. 5 different woodlands. We've got a nice cabin coming up. We're going to do that. And in a couple of weeks, we're off into Hampshire, which I know is not terribly far away from West Sussex, where I live, to walk the hangers, the zigzag path near Selborne, and to get onto the Wessex ancient tracks as well. So we've got some of that coming. And then as we progress into the year, hopefully, if all travel and getting out and about is still permitted, we've got more places, Herefordshire, Nottinghamshire, or Nottingham, yeah, no, Nottinghamshire, Northumberland, lots of other places coming, so bear with us. And of course our canal trip, which is going to be fantastic. Fingers crossed that, as I say, we're not all walled up inside, which would be a bit of a shame. Next week I'm meeting up with a lovely lady who's going to tell us about forest bathing. That seems to be a new term that's coming out. I think it really means just going out and enjoying woodland, and that'll be a bit of a primer for our 5 days in 5 different woods. So lots to look forward to. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, that's it on my little roundup. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to become a patron, support what we do. It's only really when people say, Richard, you need to, go further afield, we do have to pay for that. We do have to get Airbnbs, and later on it's possible I shall get a camper van. Well, all that's got to be paid for, and I'm doing this full time, so unless I've got the little amount of money I make on the YouTube adverts and the patronage, I can't go further afield. All the details on how to become a patron and support what we do are available at baldexplorer.com. But for the moment, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the videos. It really helps the videos get out to more people. And I will see you out and about as much as I can next time. If for any chance that I have to self-isolate and can't get out, I will be doing live shows on this channel. So one way or another, I will bring to you some form of video entertainment. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.